So let's learn. Salient features of Scolopendra. They are nocturnal, predatory carnivore found in tropical and subtropical countries. As we have learned in the salient features of Chilopoda in common, the same salient features come under Scolopendra. So there is nothing much to learn beyond that. They live in soil, beneath stones, bark, and logs in moist and damp areas and human dwellings. Now, Scolopendra gigantica, tropical American species, which is the largest of centipedes. Among all centipedes, the Scolopendra gigantica, which is an American species, is the largest. Then, yes, this is a body differentiation of a centipede. Basically, we are going to learn about Scolopendra. So this body is long, flat and divisible into head and trunk. So the body is divided into a head and a trunk region. They have a chitinous exoskeleton, which is soft, flexible, with low calcium content, right? So this is all about the body, and the body, as we told, it's divided into a head region and a trunk region. Now, we'll be learning about the feeding in Scolopendra, vascular system, respiratory system, excretory system, and a reproductive system. First, since the body is divided into a head region and a trunk region, let's see one by one each of these parts. Head. Head bears the mouth, mouth. It's basically mouth. Small labrum, paired antennae, mandibles, and first and second maxillae. As we have told, the mouth is divided into three parts: mandibles and first maxillae, second maxillae. So these are the three mouth parts, and a hypopharynx, which is basically a tongue, and a group of ocelli. Mandibles are large teeth. Second maxillae are short, heavy, and palp-like. Head is dorsally covered by a cephalic shield. Dorsally means from backside. It's being covered by a cephalic shield. Now let's see at the trunk region. The trunk is segmented. Since all segments are same, there is no differentiation between a thorax and abdomen region. We don't need to further divide a trunk into thorax and abdomen because the leftover part after head is same. They are all equally segmented with from each segment arising a pair of legs. Each trunk segment bears a pair of walking legs except the last two segments. Yes. When we draw a picture of a Scolopendra, each pair bears a pair of legs, but except the last two segments. In the last two segments, there isn't any kind of legs, walking legs arising. The first pair of legs are called maxillipedes. These first pair of legs are called as maxillipedes, which are basically involved in feeding. Then the four segments are modified as poison claws. Then after these feeding, this is the feeding legs. Then the next four are being modified as poison claws. As we have told, this is a gland to basically protect themselves from enemies, right? Poison glands open at the tip and each has a terminal pointed fang. Then the seven segments serve as walking legs, and the last pair of legs are larger. Their function is mainly sensory, defensive, offensive organs. Behind this, there are two legless segments. As I have told you, there are two segments which doesn't bear any legs. So they are basically involved in reproduction, that is genital and genital segments. The genital segments bears gonopore and anus. So let me comprise all these things. The first segment are called as maxillipedes. Then the four segments from which the legs arises are modified as poison claws for their protection against enemies. Then next again the seven segments are serve as walking legs. Then the last two pairs of legs are larger. Then again the last two legless segments are present, which are basically involved in reproduction. Now let's move on to the feeding in Scolopendra. They basically feeds on insects and their larvae, spiders, annelids, worms, soil, nematodes, slugs, etc. Now maxillipedes capture the prey. Poison claws inject the venom. Venom is painful but not seriously toxic to man. Maxillipedes were the first pair of legs, which are basically help in feeding, as I've told you. So these are the feeding legs, and then the poison claws, that is the next four segments being modified as poison claws, releases the venom, and this venom or this poison is not basically harmful to man. Then talking about the vascular system, it has a dorsal, tubular, chambered heart. Vascular system means the circulatory system. It has a dorsal, tubular, and chambered heart. Each chamber has a pair of lateral ostia. Now moving on to the respiratory system, it has tracheae and spiracles. Tracheae open out from the non-valvar, and spiracles which are always open, and each segment bears spiracles with some exceptions. Next, moving on to the excretory system, their nitrogenous waste is mostly ammonia. They are ammonotelic animals. Excretory organs are Malpighian tubules, right? Malpighian tubules are their excretory organ, which is connected to hinge gut. Then the reproductive system, their sexes are basically separate. Fertilization is external, and since we told their sexes are separate, we have a female and a male. A female has unpaired ovary, while a male has several testes. In female, oviduct and gonopore are present. In male, testis connected to a vas deferens and opens out by a single gonopore. This is basically the reproductive structure coming under the animal scolopendra. Then in some species, centipedes, females brood the egg in cluster and guard the young ones until they disperse. That's all about the topic. Thank you.